Hello, my name is Omar Abasad. It is 3:43 p.m., November 29, 2020. And I've been posting some videos about about the oximeter readings. And I'll just give you a sample. So right now, it is 12.8. And that's where it should be. You notice the bar that's going up and down is very uniform. And most of the time it's going all the way up. That's the way it should be. If you look at my videos, you'll see that sometimes it goes all the way to 1. So, and sometimes it goes to 25. So as far as my research shows, the range is 1 to 20. If it goes outside the range, or there is a certain range that if you go over, it's considered to be dangerous. So mine goes up, like over 23, it goes up to 25 that I saw. And it can go down to 0.3 as well. But it's my observation that at a certain range, I feel good. And that is between 12 to 15, 18 or so. It's perfect. So my blood pressure is fine, my heart rate is fine, the oxygenation is fine when the PI is in that range. So I've been posting a few videos, especially in the mornings, when the PI goes up to 25, and there are huge electrical readings on my chest, on my breast, on my heart, and huge RF readings as well. So there is a lot of electricity in my body when I'm taking those measurements, and the PI goes up to 25. There is a flickering effect in that bar that's going up and down, as you see there. And that means that the heart is fluttering. The flickering is equal to the heart fluttering, meaning that the beat, and this is what my conclusions are. The beats are not completing, because from my research, of course, I'm not a doctor, but from my research, the electrical pulse happens maybe once every second, and it travels through the heart, the atrium and the ventricle at a certain rhythm, and it has to go through the heart. So if it short circuits and it doesn't complete the cycles it's supposed to go through, then the beat is not completed. The blood is not flowing as it should. It's not pumping from one place to another, and it's not flowing as it should. So I'm doing this video to show that, yes, I'm still alive. And last night, I had this headache, and I posted quite a few tweets and some very short videos about my head being pulsed. I mean, you saw the signals, you saw the PI numbers, you saw the blood pressure numbers. I had a blood pressure, I think it was 180 over, I've got to check it. It was huge. The high number and the low number was almost the same. So all kinds of strange things happen when you're hit with powerful microwaves. And I'm just documenting them. Of course, you can die. Your heart can stop. And I think my heart did stop. According to the oximeter, my heart stopped. According to the blood pressure monitor, the blood pressure went very, very, very low. So I think what happened was the finger was not picking up the pulse. The oximeter on the finger was not picking up the pulse because the blood pressure felt so low that the sensor in the oximeter did not pick up the pulse in the finger. So no, my heart did not stop. I don't think. I could be wrong. If you do hit your heart with a very, very powerful microwave beam, it will stop it. I could be wrong. Probably it did stop. Yeah, so this is documentation. And this is going to go to the court. Because what it is attempted murder. And I think it all ties into 5G and misusing the 5G system. It could be piggybacked on. It could be hacked. The networks that are using the cell towers and the 5G system off the cell towers, the phones, the computers, these can all be hacked. The power could be turned up. Your cell phone, while you're holding it on your ear, could be hacked into, and it could be caused to explode in your face. They could do that by hacking it. I've had situations where my cell phone was in my purse, and I reached my hand in, and the cell phone was hot to the touch. It's not supposed to be. It was to the point where I thought it was going to explode, and I put it back down. Um, uh, it I thought something was wrong with the battery, and when I came home and I took it out of my purse, it was still hot, and I put it back down, and I left it alone for a while. It cooled down. So I'm suspecting that the phone was hacked and the power was turned up on the phone, and the phone was tracked. The phone is tracked and it's being hit. It's hacked, and the microwaves affecting it is the power is being turned up on it. And just like that could happen, the system of the cell phone the cell tower could also be hacked. The booster cells, the booster antennas can also be hacked and turn up the power by criminals. So, what is it now? And because my head was hit so badly last night, my eyes are killing me as well. My eyes were also hit. I'm getting a lot of flashes today. Yesterday, I did not have a lot of flashes. Today, I do have flashes because when your head is hit with these microwaves, it affects the retina. It artificially stimulates the retina, and you get flashes in your eyes. So I never had migraines, but all the symptoms of being hit with microwaves are also symptoms of migraines as well, which is very, very interesting. It's just like all the symptoms of being hit with microwaves on the body. On the head, it's a migraine. On the body and the chest and the lungs, COVID-19, I think it's called now. Before, it used to be called fibromyalgia, and all sorts of other diseases that was that they were labels and a cover for what was really, in a lot of cases, if not all, targeted cases. They were targeted with microwaves. They were experimented with, my opinion, based on what I am experiencing, personal experience. Okay, so okay, this hurts because it has a tight grip, so I'm going to take it off. And sometimes I sleep with it, and it depends on which finger you put on. I sometimes switch the fingers when it starts hurting. Sorry. And maybe it's just maybe that the finger is being hit to cause the pain. Very possible. Okay, so I did a lot of tweets about questioning the COVID-19 experiment. I'm going to call it an experiment. And the experiment has a depopulation agenda behind it. Experiments have been run on the human race for a long, long, long time. And I posted quite a few links on that as well. There are a lot of doctors who think along the same lines, who doesn't work for the government. So there is a global agenda behind this whole thing. And a lot of people are saying that COVID-19 was planned. Well, it is my opinion that it was planned. You're very right. Yes. Somebody in chat there. I don't normally, my intention is not to engage in chat. I should have turned it off. I'm sorry, but thanks for dropping by. Maybe one day I will start actually doing the chat. But to the point that I was trying to make, this global agenda, they're using the Great Reset to usher in the New World Order and digital cryptocurrency. Well, I think it's already ushered in. I think they're using the reset to make it official. I think it was always here, and it was here for a long time. And we've been operating on it covertly under the New World Order, covertly. Because if you look in some of these targeted individuals' websites, some of these people have been talking about being targeted 50 years ago. So this New World Order agenda has been operating in our society for at least 50 years under the gang stalking program. The cryptocurrency, yes, that's new and, well, relatively new. But yeah, we're definitely going in that direction. And to the point, I mean, the world before, the world we knew, my being 60 years old, we came from owning personal property. My father had property, land. He ran his own business. He was independent. And somebody sold him a bill of goods. And convinced him that Canada was a better place to be. And of course, in retrospect, that was not true. Land is what we need to survive. And, you know, this dream of being in the city and now being in a smart city and having all these luxury items and comfort items was sold to us to bribe us and to give up our lands and to come into the cities and then have the rug pulled from under us in the cities because we can't go anywhere. We can't go to visit family, no Christmases, no nothing now. And we're going to be guinea pigs in the cities because now we're stuck, right? No land to go back to. And no property outside the city. So you're stuck, except of course, they're very rich people who have property outside the city and they could do that. So the society is being tiered. The very rich and the rest of us are, well, not very rich. 2 tiers. And the middle class is being pulled out because all the small businesses and all the middle class, medium-sized businesses that represent the middle class are being pulled out. No teachers, no schools, no universities, no professors. The doctors are virtual. Pretty soon it's going to be computerized. So there's going to be a tiny group of people at the top and the rest of us are going to be serfs. globally. So before we had different countries operating on different systems. So China has had the have the communistic system. Canada have social democracy. The US have democracy. And then you have Russia and you have all these other places operating on different types of political systems. So now we're going to bring it all together and put it all under one system called a technocracy, the new world order. Now, how is it possible to manage so many different ethnic groups and so many ethnic backgrounds and cultural backgrounds and differences in opinion and differences in religions and so much diversity? How does one go about managing this very complex world that we live in with so many, many, many differences in people, in climate, and religious beliefs, in cultural beliefs, in differences in IQ levels, differences in worldviews, differences in the way we look at nature, differences in emotional IQ. Intellectual IQ is not the only IQ that should be used in measuring intelligence. Emotional IQ is just as important. Spirituality, which religion is reflective of. How do you go about managing that? It's like India. I've never been to India, but I've seen enough on YouTube to realize that it's very, 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 very diverse in every single possible way. But in that diversity comes intelligence, very, very, very high intelligence and spirituality. That's where it comes from being diverse. That's where the imagination comes from. That's where the drama, the art comes from. The theater, the music, the singing, the spiritual side, the just the the complexity and the diversity itself just generates this rich culture that India represents. And take that and look at it in a world's perspective, which is equally as diverse. How do you go about managing this system, this global world system, with all this diversity? How do you manage it from the top? How do you get like one person telling the world what to do? How do you take a Fauci and tell and give him the power to tell all the doctors in the whole world what to do based on science? But science is changing all the time. We've proven time and time and time and time and time again that science is a changing art. It's dynamic, it's not static. It's not facts. It's not based on facts. They're based on models, as Teresa Tam says, is constantly reminding us that the conclusions that some of the doctors are coming up with are based on models. The models are changing because we're ever learning. Science is ever changing. So when they're telling us take science as the basis for what they're telling us, well, they're not the only people who are interpreting the science. Change could be interpreted a million different ways. However, they are the people who want the power that comes with having the final word of interpreting the science a certain way in order to control us. So it's all about control. This COVID-19 reset is not about health. It's not about our well-being. It's not about making the world a happier place, a healthier place, a more intelligent place, a more advanced place, a more developed place. It's not about that. In fact, it's just the opposite. It's a satanic agenda that subverts the truth. So when they're telling you, yeah, it's good for you, what they really mean is, no, it's not good for you. It's good for them. And you're the one who's going to get enslaved and work for them. It's an enslavement program. Okay, so I was going to read an article. My hair is, I desperately need a haircut, but of course we can't go get it. Okay, so I went to the World Economic Forum website, and there's an article, and there are many articles and videos. I suggest you check it out yourself. There is one here that I'm just going to scan through very quickly for you. 3 ways tech solutions can help the world weather COVID-19. And they're pushing surveillance. So technology must address specific needs to help the world weather the ongoing pandemic. These are bullet points. Research at the top. Research points to key ways businesses can prioritize how technology is deployed to meet needs while defending their own commercial interests. Addressing key concerns, of course, it's an economic forum, so it's coming at it from a business point of view. Addressing key concerns raised some of the technologies is crucial to ensure their wide usage and success. And I'm getting scammed. On and off. So that was not a very, yeah, there you go, 5.0. The PI drops immediately and it goes back up. That's how you could tell that you're being pulsed. So let me just continue here. So COVID-19 has accelerated the adoption of many new technologies. The wealth of different pandemic-related services and platforms can offer. Okay, let me do that again. The wealth of different pandemic-related services and platforms on offer can at times feel overwhelming. For businesses trying to prioritize resources, understanding the most important trends and patterns in the technological response to COVID-19 is absolutely vital. New needs have led to a patchwork of solutions, as new research from Boston Consulting Group points out, that can bring a host of challenges in data storage, privacy, and implementation. Just skipping ahead here. To arrive at these 3 priority areas, we deployed contextual artificial intelligence, a form of artificial intelligence data within the context of a specific use case by adapting to user inputs. I got to read that again to understand it, but I'm going to skip it. This is, to me, this kind of statement is bamboozle speak, and that's my terminology. Let me just read this to you again, and maybe at first I didn't understand it. What exactly is the point? To arrive at these 3 priority areas, which I talked about before, I just read before, we deployed contextual artificial intelligence, AI, a form of artificial intelligence data within the context of a specific use case by adapting to user inputs. Okay, maybe those microwave beams last night worked. Because to me, that's bamboozle speak. We use this technology to analyze over 2,500 openly available English language news articles published between January and May 2020 and assess which topics related to COVID-19 and technology were most prevalent. Okay, so let me go back again and read this statement. To arrive at these 3 priority areas, we deployed contextual artificial intelligence, a form of artificial intelligence data within the context of a specific use case by adapting to user inputs. Okay. We also perform sentiment analysis on these topics, gauging the surrounding sentiment by analyzing the language used by the author of each article. So in other words, what they did was they data mined. They data mined within certain parameters. And they used certain filters. According to NetBase Quid, a market intelligence platform, natural language processors analyze not only the words used, but also slang, sarcasm, local vernacular, dialects, netspeak, and emojis within the articles to properly contextualize the intended emotions behind words and phrases. There you go. They're trying to emotionally analyze. Okay, that's what they mean by context. Okay, so I'm not going to go into all of that. They gave you a lot of detail into how they analyzed the data on the net. Three key themes emerge that span multiple categories within the set. They help us make sense of the mass of information about life during the pandemic, identify the technological areas that really matter, draw connections between them, and understand how people feel about them. In other words, every time you do a Google search or you make a comment somewhere on Twitter, all these things are being analyzed by these people. These key areas are driving innovation to promote economic resilience in a virtual world, tracking, tracing, and preventing global disease spread, and fostering human connection in the absence of face-to-face interactions. So keep in mind that people who don't have computers don't have a voice in this. So what they're doing is taking your information that you're putting on the net and driving policies through them, using them. Information management plays a part in each of these areas. Specific solutions for the medical industry are obviously crucial as well, but warrant their own discussion in a separate analysis. So having innovation to promote economic resilience, that's the first part. COVID-19 have sparked rapid digitalization and automation across nearly every industry. Our cloud of topics and clusters shows strong interconnectivity between innovation, e-commerce, video remote working, and cybersecurity. Each of these is strongly tied together in the ability to drive creative and rapid solutions to difficulties created by the paradigm shift to an online world. Okay, so that's the economic aspect of it. Remote working tools, the shift to the digital economy. The shift to the digital economy has led to increased concern over cybersecurity. Okay, so something else to look at. Tracking and tracing and preventing global disease spread. This is the other section. It is imperative to manage, collect, and analyze comprehensive data to allow for real-time tracking. Real-time tracking. In other words, 24-hour surveillance, while at the same time integrating technological solutions with robust cybersecurity protection. Okay. Many countries, to skip on ahead here, many countries develop opt-in mobile apps to facilitate the contract tracing process. The contract tracing, definitely contract, not contact, while committing to safeguard privacy. So I just got a pulse on the butt. Some apps garnering over millions of downloads, 36% of some countries' populations, but wider adoption of these apps are mostly stalled, often due to the ways individual apps fell short of addressing privacy and effectiveness concerns. Okay. As economies reopen, skipping ahead, the need for effective detection, containment, and tracing of infections is becoming the responsibility of the private sphere. Employees will expect assurances of safety before returning to work. This could be achieved by technical innovations such as return to work solutions. Okay, fostering human connection in an increasingly virtual world. And this is very interesting. I found this part very interesting. For many people working and learning remotely, despite the benefits of spending more time with family members and our roommates, human connection has been sorely missed. Our analysis is seen in the closeness between nodes 2, 12, and 13, figure 1, at the top of this page, and it's very well analyzed, demonstrates strong interconnectivity between remote learning, connected communities, and telecom connectivity. Excuse me, but you don't need to download a whole bunch of data on the net and psychoanalyze it and psychoanalyze the population to learn that people need to interact on a human one-to-one basis, not computer basis, in order to learn in a more in a rich way, with a lot of dimensions and a lot of contact points in our brain. In other words, let me just put what I just said in words. Just picture, as I just did in my head, when a synapse fires in your brain, it connects all these cells around your brain, and it makes all these connections. If you're in front of a computer and you're looking at what's on the screen, then only certain connections are made in the brain. If you connect with a person, you're taking in the person's voice, you're taking the context of the voice, you're taking the person's eyes, the impression in the eyes, the movement of the hand, the movement of the mouth, the facial features, the posture of the head, the head, the body, and you're getting the vibe, the frequency of the bodies coming through to you. And all of these things are taken into your brain through your spinal column without you knowing. This is an automatic process. This is what it means to be human, not transhuman. This is what it means to be human. You take in information not only through your 5 senses, you take in information from frequencies that's in the environment that hits your spinal column and hits your brain without you knowing so. And a good example of that is, it happens to me all the time. I'm walking on the street and there is nobody on the street. And out of the blues, I will just turn around. And lo and behold, there'd be somebody 6 feet away from me. It happens to me all the time. And not a sound. I think I'm alone. There is nobody. The street is empty. And there is no traffic on the street. And I'm walking along. And I have this impulse to turn around. I turn around and there's somebody perfectly quiet about 6 feet away from me, who's looking at me, by the way, directly, and has a beeline, a straight beeline behind me. Not beside me, just directly behind me. How do I know that? Because my body aura, which is now a scientific fact, your body projects because you're electrical. You're an electrical, which I proved over and over again. You're an electrical being. So electricity and electromagnetic, the EMF, which is your aura, projects. And that aura picks up signals and brings it back into your body. So your body, your body is really extended. Your senses is really extended about 6 to 10 feet away from you. And you can receive signals that far away into your body, into your spinal column. But anyways, okay, talk about digressing. Okay, so let me just come back here. So what I was trying to say was, they went into the net and they psychoanalyzed, downloaded this data, had all these filters, and downloaded the data and psychoanalyzed the data to come up with this conclusion that people need people to learn, basically, and they're missing it because the online learning is not, they're not happy doing it. Okay, so this is what I call junk science, because you just know these things. You just know it. A thinking person who is in tune with his body and his very soul, and who is in tune with nature, and who has rich emotional connections with people, positive emotional connections to the earth, to people, have a lot of positive things in their lives, will know these things. But here is the business world, putting it in a scientific model and presenting it to you as science. Well, this science have an emotional basis. Emotions drive this intelligence. Anyway, so customer service trends reveal a strong ongoing need for human connection, as I was just saying. Duh. Generally, companies have been moving away from human customer service representatives in favor of using automated chats and programmed replies or options. However, since the beginning of COVID, the number of calls to live agents has skyrocketed. According to a survey published in May, 38% of customers indicated that having the ability to speak to a live agent was a make or break factor for a successful customer service experience. People eager to re-engage in social activities has led to resurgences in cases around the world. New measures to keep people happy at home are needed, or the spread of infection could accelerate. And there's the rub. There is the rub right there. This COVID-19, and if you look at my tweets, from what I'm experiencing, have all the symptoms of being hit with microwaves. All of it. I've also had, and keep in mind that the symptoms I've been experiencing for at least 10 years now. It's just happening more and more as the power is turned up more and more, and 5G has been switched on. Since 5G has been switched on, I've been sick almost every day. So that's one set of bamboozle, the COVID-19 scenario with the 5G, which breaks down our immune system and makes us more susceptible to getting sick. And it also activates bacteria that's already in our system and makes us get sick. And also directed energy weapons are being used on top of that to increase numbers to drive what I just read to you. People eager to re-engage in social activities have led to resurgence in cases around the world. New measures to keep people happy at home are needed, or the spread of infection could accelerate. Keep in mind, a business person is writing this. They're coming at this from a business point of view. The bottom line is the dollar, not a God that you believe in, or a power or force that generated us, or religion, or happiness, or your well-being, or developing you to your full potential, or making you happy. This is about the dollar, and not for you, by the way, only for a certain number of people at the top. Among each of these technology solutions, there is a fascinating interconnectivity of 6 major categories. Okay, so they go into quote unquote scientific mumbo jumbo, dissect and analyze. Okay, so maybe I'll read this last paragraph because it's the last one. So among each of these technology solutions, there is a fascinating interconnectivity of 6 major categories of COVID tech topics. Companies that can address key concerns as well as their connected topics in order to perform a comprehensive solution will reap both public welfare and commercial benefits. Corporations that can address key concerns as well as their connected topics in order to form a comprehensive solution will reap both public welfare and commercial benefits. As we continue to explore how the tech industry can provide solutions to our global pandemic problems, Expert insights can help us to distill the key themes from a complex web of activities. Yeah. In other words, they're going to use artificial intelligence to filter out the information that you put on the net to come up with solutions that work against you. Bottom line, cutting to the chase, to make money, of course, and to make you happy while they make money. They have to keep you at home, which is not good for you. They already admitted that it's not good for you because people would like to talk to live people doing business. But we can't do that anymore because it's going to lead to resurgences in cases around the world. So the people eager to re-engage in social activity has led to resurgence. So now we need new measures to keep people happy at home, to prevent spreading the disease, which is not really a disease. It's an activated virus. And why is it killing older people? Because older people cannot take the power of the 5G system, my opinion. Okay. So I'm going to stop there. I needed to go somewhere, but we'll see. Okay. You're very smart. Hardly. I'm aware. And not only that, I am one of those people who are willing to speak up. That doesn't make me smart. I just, I want change. I don't want to become a robot. I don't want a chip inside of me. And if one is being put there covertly, then it's all the more reason for me to speak up. From the numbers that I am getting here, it's very possible that there is a chip in me. Because when I walk, I'm getting hit, which means that I'm being tracked. And one way to track me is to trip me. And I am a target. I'm called a target all the time. Targets can be done, you could do anything to a target and get away with it, including trip them. And by the way, there's a lot of people like me. I'm not unique. They're very, very smart people, tons of them out there. And for one reason or another, just scared to talk. They're just scared to talk. They got their families, they got, they're just scared to put their families out there. But the fact is that their families are already out there. Their families are already being affected. Their families are already being taken advantage of, being violated. They're being surveilled. So you have nothing to lose, in other words. You have absolutely nothing to lose when you speak up, and everything to gain. You have your humanity to gain. You have your self-respect to gain, your self-esteem to gain. You have the power inside of you to gain. Reclaim your power, reclaim who you are, reclaim your humanity and all your human rights that comes with it. Because the whole idea of saying you don't have human rights anymore is because you're not going to be human anymore. They're going to chip you. So if you're not human, no human rights. Speak up. Fight for what you believe in. And since the New World Order is satanic, everybody out there who believes in a God, in whichever form you believe in, time to talk, and time to stand up for what you believe in, without using weapons. No weapons, because we don't need any more pain in this world. There's enough. There's a million ways to skin a cat without weapons. Talk to you another time.